Hello again. We are ready to do another full cycle in my Fisher and Paykel washing machine, and it has occurred to me that I've never showed the model number or serial number before, so it's kind of, I don't know if you can see that, but the model number is GW712 product 92200-A. And I haven't figured out how to decode the serial numbers yet. So if you know how to do that, the serial number is RHN556604. So that's that. So this next lead is pretty much going to be the same as last time, but probably a bit bigger. Well, it's not as big as I thought it was going to be, but it's still a load nonetheless. And to make things a little more interesting, one day when we went fishing, after I got home, I decided to clean up one of our rods, so I thought it would make a pretty good stain test, so I got one of the microfibers. And you can see here it's got some, I don't know if you can see that very well. Hang on. Let me close the lid. See here, you can see we've got some stains going on. This is the stains from my fishing rod. You might want to pay attention to that. We're just going to pop that right there and start setting the options. So I already have the favorite cycle set. It's already on heavy duty. And I found that the warm on this washer is quite warm, so I've actually defaulted this to warm cold, which is about right. Plus it fills quicker. Got the usual temperatures and spin speed, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I've been kind of experimenting with detergent from my store that we go to, and today we are trying out some cold power. I'm going to use probably a good, oh where's the scoop? I forgot. I already put some in my little jar here. As I was saying, I'm probably going to use a good, maybe 2 scoops. Let's make things a little interesting. I'm going to throw in a Tide Pod as well. I've never put one in here before. Throw that. And then finally, to make things even more interesting, I've got some Vanish. There you go. So we've got cold power, the Tide Pod, and Vanish. As usual, I'm just going to pop some water in there. Guys, I still haven't made the effort to buy some white vinegar. I haven't used white vinegar in a very long time. So I've just been using water. The fabric softener is expensive. shot. Should have rinsed this out. Here we go. And we are washing. This smells pretty good. It's the Tide Pod. I still have quite a lot of these. I've been trying not to use them very much because they're so expensive here in New Zealand. And they're rare too. They're very hard to come by. It might also interest you to know about this washer. I actually took this thing apart again to try to fix the suspension rod, because if you recall from my last video, the suspension rod made quite a bit of squeaking noises during the spin. So I figured out it was this one over here, and I took it out. I think I fixed it, but this is the first real big load I've done in it, so we'll have to see what it decides to do. Hopefully I fixed it, because I looked it up later that day, and I discovered like a full set of suspension rods is like $120 over here. It's pretty dear, so I'm kind of hoping this works. And also, there are other things. The Bosch is back in service. Nothing about this machine has changed. It is exactly the same as it was. And the Whirlpool, I unfortunately had to pull that out of service because the water valve, one of the things that was wrong with my Whirlpool when I restored it was the water inlet valve hose thing for the hot water was stripped, and so I glued another one on there because I have a feeling that the yeah, I just glued another one on there, but it's leaking again, and I've been trying to stop it for the past few weeks, but nothing's really worked out. So I unfortunately had to pull that out of service, but I was lucky enough to find one for my washer, but it's kind of expensive, so yeah, my Whirlpool is gonna be doing a bit of sitting alongside the Maytag. And also, nothing's changed about the Maytag. I cleaned the bottom of the Maytag, so I'm just keeping it in good condition in the time that it's sitting here. I'm very close. I've been saving up for the motor for that one, and I'm pleased to inform you I'm very close to being able to buy it. Once I sell this machine, I should have enough money to buy the motor for my Maytag. So that'll be cool. Hopefully I can get that done soon. I think that kind of depends on what the suspension rod does. So we'll have to see. I'm kind of looking at this now. This definitely doesn't appear to be as big as the last load I did. I was looking at the laundry basket this morning. I thought we were gonna be doing an overload test today, but looking at this now, it's a big washer and it feels really high. See? And it's got some incredible wash action going on there. And that right there, if this were an intuitive eco, that's where the recirculating pump, the water would come out of there. But of course, this isn't an intuitive eco. This is a standard Quick Smart washing machine. Well, it doesn't say it, but it is. It's like the Quick Smart washers. So it would be pretty cool if I could convert this to an intuitive eco, but I don't think it's possible. I think you'd have to be like some sort of skilled electrician to do that. There's where we are. The wash progress bar. It's telling us that we've got less than 9 minutes to go. Very cool. Let's try a different angle. It took me a long time to make this video because when I pulled the Whirlpool out of service, I moved the Bosch in as well, but at the time, no matter which way I put it, the one that would be here, the drain hose, wasn't going to reach over to the super tub. That's the special thing about the Whirlpool, is that amazingly the drain hose is able to reach over. It's like kind of a rare thing, but it does it, so that's really surprising. But none of these other machines can. So this thing had to do a bit of sitting, and eventually I finally remembered to go to Bunnings, and I bought myself a drain hose extension, and I was able, it's way down here, to hook up the extension to there. So I'm pretty sure I've sorted that out. Sorry about that, guys. Experienced a little interruptions. This is the garage of our house, and sometimes it's difficult to keep others out while I'm recording, so yeah, we just experienced a little interruptions there, but you know, no biggie. We've got less than 6 minutes to go now. Dang, I've been really kind of playing around with the camera angles. I might as well just hold the camera. I think I'll do that. And get you guys a higher view. Alright, reminds me, I need to keep that open, otherwise it'll stink. And also, I don't think I did this in the last video. Let's show you guys what's going on here. I think I have to be careful because apparently it's a thing where you don't leave that in there. Socks could fall down there, but you can see how all the water is moving into the center. And you can also get a better idea of how hard this washer has to work. I'm actually surprised the stator isn't acting up. We've got less than 3 minutes to go now. See, you're on short wash now. It's pretty cool. You can actually, it's like, if you want a short wash, all you have to do is hit the advance button. If you want the wash to end when you want it to, like maybe if you're like somewhere in the long wash or somewhere, and you just want the wash cycle to end because you're getting too impatient, you can always advance it while the cycle is running, and it'll start doing the rinse. Alright, let me pop this back in there. Oh yeah, I got water. Oh gosh. Right. Being that the wash cycle is about to end, I'm going to grab the tripod again because I want to make sure that the drain hose extension is working because I mean, that's like, I haven't tested it yet. I'm pretty unprepared to make this video. But you know, here it is. Alright, look at that. Pop this up here. It should work, it's pretty tight. We'll definitely keep an eye on it though. If it does any leaking, it will be on the Bosch, and it really doesn't matter with this Bosch. Here we are. Running away and... it is okay. Yeah, I was pretty sure that was gonna work. And you guys can't see it, but oh well. I'm gonna pop this back down there since I've established that it's working. Have a look outside. Since this thing takes forever to drain, I don't want this to be boring in any way. The water pressure of the pump is... Oh, you saw a bit of lint come out of there. Did you see that? I don't know if you saw that. You just had a bit of lint come out of there. It's a sign that the lint removal system is working. Anyways, as I was saying, it's not exactly a very powerful pump, but considering that it isn't motor driven, I think it's pretty good. It's definitely more powerful than the higher I used to have. I haven't checked the Bosch yet, I haven't really paid attention to it, but I imagine so, because the drain hose on this Bosch is just pathetic compared to this one over here. And in case you're wondering, the reason that this towel, I didn't wrap this towel around here, this is somebody else's towel, but they did this to prevent the wall from being marked. And that's kind of unfortunate in my case, because you know, I'm moving appliances out of here every now and then, or pretty commonly, should I say. And as a result, the wall is quite scratched. But, I mean, who cares? It's not really going to be seen. Don't know what we're going to do about that, but oh well. Anyways, it looks like we're getting close. Oh no, we've still got a bit. I can tell. Usually when it gets below the wing nut, that's when it does its tug check. And this should be getting ready to float down. Hey, I think you guys can probably see it. There it goes. It's still floating down. It might. It should be about now. No, there it is. Alright. So that's the tub check. Yes, I have to go grab a coat hanger. Stand by. Where's my coat hanger? Alright, coat hanger's missing. I wonder if I could hold. Nah. Very unwise. Stand by. Got a coat hanger for my room. I'm just in time. Still not done draining. It's pretty funny. Come on, man. Thank you. It's the first time it's ever done that. I guess not. Did you guys see that? This thing went violent. And I'm not even surprised. It's a suspension hung, after all. Like, what should I expect? I'm surprised it didn't trip the off-balance sensor. It should have one because the older one, or the first one I ever fixed, is exactly the same as this one, only the smallest one, and it had an off-balance switch because whenever it went out of balance, which I think it did twice in the time that I had it, it recognized it and stopped, but this one didn't do that. Maybe it didn't get it off balance enough. I know that I can get it to recognize a suds lock, so I can just do that by wiggling the tub ring, and it'll recognize it, but yeah. Well, this is a pretty heavy load. It's pretty off balance. And I don't hear the suspension rod, so that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. I think I might have fixed it. I'll have to keep listening. that's for the first rinse slide, the spray rinses. And then the second wipe is a very brief, deep rinse. And as I was probably mentioning before, if I wanted to, I could advance to it now using the advance button, but I'm gonna let the entire cycle play for you guys. Nice and quiet. I think it's fixed. Well, there you go. I mean, we're not done yet, obviously. You still have a full spin to go through. But still pretty good. And, yeah, the extension still didn't leak, so we are all good. Alright, I'll come back once the machine is filled. decrease. Come on. There you go. And then spin.
Once again, filling up the fabric softener dispenser. Actually, it looks a bit crooked. I wonder why. Hang on, I'm gonna look at this. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's not supposed to come off. So evidently this snapped off at some point. Still nice and secure. It's just sometimes it's crooked. I always wondered why it did that, but I'm just looking at it now. It's not good at all, but I mean, it still works. So. I guess sometimes it disturbs me when this thing isn't perfectly crooked, not even. Does it look even to me? I don't know. Well, here we are, draining again. Hopefully the suspension rod doesn't play up, and hopefully, as we saw in the last spin, this thing is able to, hopefully it's able to balance itself. And if it doesn't, hopefully this thing can sense it. Otherwise we're gonna have a real issue. I'm gonna actually investigate that, make sure it works. I'm pretty sure I've read the manual. I know for the older ones it's possible to check, because the older ones actually had a lever that if you put it in a certain mode, you could push back on it to see if it worked. But this one is different. It doesn't actually have a lever. I'm not sure how it does it. I think it might do it by sensing like a disturbance in the stator or something. I don't know, but it does it somehow. And I don't know if there's a way of testing these ones. I actually think the manual I read that didn't apply to this, because the manual that I read is from the very early 2000s. I don't think this was introduced when that manual came out. So I don't know how to test the out of balance sensor. It's not a lever, it's a sensor or something. I don't know how to test it. We can only hope it works. I might investigate later, but for now we can only hope it works. So we're doing, let's see the top loading down. Almost there. Should be up. No, still got it. About now, maybe. Ah, okay. Yeah. Now you can actually see some wind on the agitator. Wind. I need to get a weight or something, because, I mean, I have to hold this down, otherwise it'll come out. No, I'm like, too lazy to do that. Experiencing more interruptions. Sorry about that. It bounced itself. How loudly I should speak, because I can hardly hear myself. Sounds like this thing's ready to self-destruct.
it's done, and let me find wherever it is. There it is. The microfiber. Oh, well, there's one spot. And there's another one, but other than that, excuse me, this thing is pretty respectably cleaned. So, well done to the fisher, and also some of the cleaning agents. So it did squeak for a little bit, maybe about a minute during the spin. Well, it wasn't the same squeak that we heard last video, but it was something. I think it was just because it was very shaky. But after that minute, it seemed to have calmed down. But we'll definitely keep an eye on that. I think I got it, but we'll keep testing it before I put it up for sale. Alright, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.